few weeks ago, I spat in a tube and sent it off to a lab. I don't think this is the intro many people were expecting to a food video, but bear with me. When that tube of saliva, my saliva, was genetically tested, it came back that I was likely motivated by success and had the genes for fuller facial hair. Don't really know where that one came from. But other than my possible traits that I don't really have, it also came back with my ancestral DNA, and I found out two things. One, I am incredibly white, and two, I am actually related to my parents despite looking completely different to them. That was a shock, but phew. In this cultural exploration of my genetics, I really realised I haven't had much food that comes from the places my ancestors are from. And what's better than dessert? Not much. Pretty much nothing. Yeah. So of course I'm going to go on a bit of a hunt for food that might have been invented by my ancestors. I could be the descendant of the person that invented the beurre de sucre. I don't speak French, but my 4% genetics is kind of proving that, I think. Now, I don't recommend looking for traditional baked goods in a country where those baked goods aren't tradition, and I am in Dublin, so our tradition is really alcohol and spice bags. So you really won't find a Swedish pickled herring or a Danish frikadeller. I really just included that in the script so I could say frikadeller. Frikadeller. Sorry, but in all seriousness, whenever I look for authentic foods, especially the German ones, it just brings me back to Lidl. And don't get me wrong, I love Lidl bakery, but it's not really giving authentic. That will be a theme in this video. Nothing's really authentic, but I tried my best, okay? Let's get into it. I'm gonna start off with Ireland because that's where I'm most from. I'm 44% Irish. I'm practically a leprechaun. It didn't take me long to find something traditionally Irish in Ireland. This is what you call a barnbrack. I don't know what it is, but I randomly walked into the fanciest shop I've ever been in. This was below a shopping centre. I didn't even know it was here, and oh my goodness, I felt like the poshest person ever buying a fruitcake. It's just a massive lump of fruit bread, but there's a twist. It has a ring inside. If you find the ring, you are fortunate. There used to be a stick and a cloth and a pea. If I cut into a piece of cake and found a pea, I would not be a very happy bunny, so I'm happy with my cheap ring. I'm probably not going to cut into this because I think my family want it, but if you look closely, it is the most boring dessert ever. I do like fruitcake though. I get called that quite often. Moving on to England next. You may wonder, Alice, how are you only 40% English? You sound that way. You can thank my mum, who is English, and for Top Gear practically raising me. 2 reasons why I sound this way, okay? Now, I already took a bite out of this because I thought, must be better when it's fresh. It's really not. This is what you call a bakewell tart with a chunk taken out of it. But basically, it's a pastry with some cake in. It's more of a pasty cake and some almonds on top. It is so dry. I recorded this and I don't know if I can find the clip, but it genuinely took all the moisture out of my mouth. Oh no. That is not good. I do, however, have a love letter to write. Dear Mr. Kipling, thank you for making the best personality test ever. Basically, Mr. Kipling, who made the bakewell tart a bit more palatable, put some icing and a cherry on top, and it really shows who's mature enough to eat a glacier cherry. If you don't, you are a wuss. It's a good personality test. Now we're on to Scotland. I was going to attempt a Scottish accent and then I realised that would be incredibly offensive, so I'm not going to do that. I do enjoy the idea of sitting in front of a fireplace in Edinburgh, wearing a kilt with some bagpipes playing, and then eating a fried Mars bar. I couldn't really find any of them today, so I settled on shortbread. Scotland know how to make one thing, and one thing only, that's beautiful and perfect. You're probably expecting me to say shortbread. No, David Tennant. It is just the most perfect thing in the entire world. With chocolate chips, if you don't eat it with chocolate chips or a cup of tea, You're a tad bit weird, okay? Best thing ever. Sweden. Are cinnamon rolls actually Swedish? I was looking on Google and people claim that it is and people claim that it isn't, so I don't really know. I did Google Swedish baked goods and I can't pronounce the names of them. Jordgubbstarta and Dam sugar. If any Swedes out there claim that the cinnamon bun isn't Swedish, what is wrong with you? At least your national baked dish isn't soda bread. That's called suffering. It's from M&S again. I don't know why everything is from M&S in this video. I apologise, but their stuff tastes good, despite spending my entire mortgage on it. Things I do for videos, and yes, I have taken a bite out of this already because it's very, very nice. Oh, there's nothing better than cinnamon and sugar. Denmark. When I think of Denmark, I think of two things: Danish pastries and Kevin Magnussen. Now, this may be a niche reference, but one of them is much more likely to drive into another person way too often. But that's more about Kevin and less about the beautiful pastry the Danes made. During my entire childhood, I lived off Danish pastries, and that's saying like I don't nowadays. I really do. I can't find them. Oh. They're literally right in front of my tripod. They're a little bit squished, if I'm honest. I'm still gonna eat them, but I'm just trying to make it seem like I'm less desperate. There is in fact a bite taken out of it already. You could tell that I was really hungry, but it's just the best thing ever. I'm gonna say that about everything except for barnbrack, but this is like, you can't beat it. There's no other pastry that will ever top a Danish pastry, especially if it's apple. I recently went to the north of France and I almost spent €1,200 on a Ferrari turtle. But then once I took myself away, I spent the other 99% of my time in bakeries. French people are very proud of their food, and rightfully so. If I invented the croissant, I would be very, very proud. I wouldn't be so proud of the fact that there is an absolute war going on between the French people that call it a chocolatine and a pain au chocolat. Personally, I'd call it an absolute delight, but you do you, France. This pastry smells like a sausage roll. Now, this is my problem, not Laudere's. It smells like a sausage roll. And I want anyone else, if you go and visit this bakery and get this almond pastry, I don't actually know what it is, smell it. I've already taken a bite out of this. I can't eat it. It tastes like a sausage roll in my mind. I don't know what almond it is. It's like they've mixed marzipan, frangipan, and almond extract into one, and it's somehow come out as a sausage roll. So, Lauderé, please update your dairy-free section because this is brutal. Looks gorgeous. It smells like a sausage roll. We've come to the last part of my genetics. Germany. I wasn't expecting this one, lads. Not that I speak the language or anything. Berliners were a central part of my childhood, and also consuming every single piece of knowledge about Sebastian Vettel, so really you could say Germany influenced my childhood in a few ways. Now, finding a traditional Berliner would be an easy task if I was in Germany or Berlin, but I am in Dublin, so the best I could find was a donut. I'm so sorry, German people, tut mir leid, but donuts are awesome. There's going to be a reoccurring theme that I've already taken a bite out of these. I'm the happiest person alive right now. In conclusion to my genetic feast I've had today, I have realised that maybe I do eat more food that comes from the countries of my relatives a bit more than I thought I already did. If I have to pass on one piece of advice to the people I've convinced genetic testing is the best way to find traditional foods for you, don't. It's a lot cheaper to just go into a shop and hope to God that maybe this food might come from my ancestors, but it's a lot cheaper to do it that way than doing what I did and spitting in a tube, and hopefully your DNA isn't being used to make clones of you. Never really thought about that part, really. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I don't think my genetics will ever influence me to eat a food over another food. If someone offered me a jam donut versus a Nutella Biscoff Delight, I will be going for the Nutella one despite its tradition. So yeah, if you're only 2% German and you want to eat German food, do it. Maybe don't eat some barnbrack or that French pastry, but the others, amazing. Go eat some food. Goodbye.
I'm sitting here editing this video and I've just realised I've missed so many countries. the Netherlands, Austria, some others. Sorry to those countries. I actually didn't realise my DNA was that interesting. So if you want me to do a part 2 to this, just let me know. Goodbye for real this time. Thanks for watching.